All right, let's get into it. Welcome to the deep dive. We take a pile of sources, pull out the key insights, basically give you a shortcut to get it up to speed.
Hmm.
Today, we're zeroing in on something pretty foundational in Web3, the graph. You probably know it by its token, GRT.
Right.
Think of it maybe like a search engine, but specifically built for the decentralized web.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. It's a decentralized indexing protocol. Its job is making all that blockchain data queryable for developers, for dApps.
And the GRT token is right there at the center of it all. It's not
Yeah.
just, some asset floating around. It's the operational fuel. Indexers use it to stake and process queries.
Right, and delegators support those indexers.
Yeah, and curators signal what's valuable. It's all about economic participation, keeping the network secure.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is how directly the token's utility and, its value ultimately is tied to real-world use.
Okay.
It's not just hype. It really depends on whether developers are actually building with the graph services, using those queries.
That connection to real use is definitely key. So let's unpack that core function a bit more. We called it Web3's search engine, decentralized indexing. What does that actually mean for, say, a developer building something or even just someone trying to use the decentralized web?
Well, yeah, it's about bringing some order to, frankly, a chaotic ocean of data. Blockchains are constantly updating, right? Ethereum, Solana, Polygon.
All that raw data.
Exactly. Raw, unstructured information just piling up. The graph steps in to make sense of it, structure it.
So developers can actually use it without pulling their hair out.
Precisely. If we zoom out a bit, the graph is tackling a really fundamental problem. Decentralized data access. Think about Google indexing the regular web, right? Making it searchable instantly. The graph aims for something similar, but for dApps and blockchain data. It's providing this essential service, but in a decentralized way.
So no single point of failure, censorship resistance.
Exactly. Without it, developers face this massive task of building custom indexing solutions for every single piece of data they need. It's a huge engineering bottleneck, right? This isn't just about finding data. It's about enabling a truly open, interoperable data layer, which is, pretty critical for that whole Web3 vision.
And that brings us nicely to 2025, which seems like a really big year for the graph. Lots of developer-focused stuff rolling out.
Yeah, definitely been active.
Okay, first up, the token API. That went into beta back in March 2025. Sounds pretty significant. What's it solving?
It's a big one. The token API gives you reliable, real-time token balances, transaction histories, that kind of metadata across multiple chains.
Okay, so consistency across chains.
Right, and the impact. It means wallets, explorers, dApps. They can get consistent token data without the absolute nightmare of running their own custom indexers for every token on every chain.
Wow, okay. That sounds like it really lowers the barrier.
Oh, dramatically. It speeds up development cycles for anyone needing accurate token info in their app. Just makes life easier.
Makes sense. So the token API tackles token data, but what about just the sheer fire hose of all blockchain data, the speed, the volume? That sounds like where Substreams comes in.
That's exactly right. Substreams is really a core capability focused on high throughput. Think streaming data pipelines.
Streaming, okay.
It's designed to radically speed up how data from blockchains gets processed and delivered, especially important for high-volume chains like Solana.
Which is non-EVM, right? Different architecture than Ethereum.
Correct. So indexing it presents unique challenges. Substreams is built to handle that, making indexing faster and way less resource-intensive even for those chains. And this raises an important question, right? How much faster can developers build with tools like this?
Yeah, agility seems key.
And they're really pushing the developer experience, too. Good documentation, tooling for permissionless streaming, easy integration. There are active SDKs out there already supporting chains like Solana.
Okay, so speed and efficiency are clearly focuses. But I heard the graph is also moving into something maybe a bit different. Knowledge graphs. Things like geogenesis and GRC20.
Yeah, this is where it gets pretty interesting. Moving beyond just raw data indexing towards organizing information in a more connected way, like how human knowledge works.
Okay.
So GeoGenesis is this early access experiment, a Web3 native browser, kind of exploring new ways to organize and curate information within Web3. Still early days, but interesting direction.
And GRC20.
Right, so building on that idea, they've proposed the GRC20 standard. Think about ERC20 for tokens, how it made everything interoperable.
Yeah, totally changed the game. Any wallet could support any token, basically.
Exactly. GRC20 aims to do something similar, but for knowledge and metadata across dApps. It's a data standard for structure.
A standard for how data itself is organized and linked?
Precisely. The goal is to massively improve interoperability and composability. Imagine data moving as freely between apps as tokens do now. That's the vision. It's like a blueprint for a more connected Web3.
That's a pretty ambitious goal. Okay, so we've got better token access, faster data streaming, structuring knowledge. What about connecting different blockchains, interoperability? I saw notes about using Chainlink's CCIP.
Yeah. Cross-chain is definitely on the roadmap. The plan is to leverage Chainlink's Cross-Chain Interoperability Protocol, CCIP, to build secure bridges for the GRT token itself.
Okay, so moving GRT between chains.
Exactly. The goal is more seamless movement and utility for GRT across networks like Arbitrum, Base, Solana, you name it.
Making it easier for delegators, developers on different chains to participate.
That's the idea. Increase multi-chain access. But,
Yeah.
it's important to manage expectations here. Cross-chain stuff is complex.
Sure.
Specific timelines, feature rollouts, they're incremental. They need serious engineering work, rigorous security reviews. It doesn't happen overnight.
Understood. Still, it all paints a picture of very active development.
Yep.
So let's pivot slightly. What does all this mean for actual use? How is the graph being adopted in the wild? What are the trends?
Well, the recent metrics actually look pretty good on core usage. Quarterly reports are showing meaningful growth.
Like what specifically?
Things like record query volumes. So more people actually asking for data. And rising counts of active subgraphs, plus new ones being deployed.
Remind us quickly, subgraphs are like the specific APIs built on the graph.
Yeah, exactly. Think of them as open APIs developers create to query specific data sets from a chain, like a custom data view ready to integrate. So seeing more of those and more queries hitting them, that reflects real developer engagement.
More demand for the core service.
Definitely. And these usage metrics are super important because they're direct signals of real-world demand. That growth really backs up the network's utility story, even if the token price is doing its own thing based on market cycles.
Right, separating the tech usage from market sentiment.
It's crucial.
Okay, this sounds really promising then. All these developments, the APIs, substreams, the standards work, they definitely seem to lower friction for builders, broaden the reach, create new possibilities. But, like any big tech project, there've got to be challenges, risks, things to keep an eye on. Right?
Oh, absolutely. It's never a straight lineup.
Yeah.
These fundamental improvements, they can support long-term utility if that adoption keeps growing. And critically, if it translates into consistent paid usage over time.
Right. The economic model needs to work.
Exactly. And you have to remember, product launches, new standards, they're necessary steps, but they aren't enough on their own to guarantee price appreciation.
The market's going to do what the market's going to do.
Pretty much. Macro trends, overall crypto sentiment, those are still huge drivers, especially short-term. And we need to be clear about the risks, too.
Such as?
Well, standard tech project risks. Execution, can they deliver on these complex roadmaps? Security, especially with cross-chain bridges, that's paramount.
Yeah.
Competition and others are working on data solutions too.
True.
And things like substreams and CCIP integrations, they add real engineering complexity. Standards like GRC20, they need buy-in from the whole ecosystem to actually mean something. Just proposing it isn't enough.
Needs adoption to become a real standard.
Yep. And even if all the on-chain metrics look great, a broad market downturn or liquidity drying up can still impact everything. So you see price forecasts out there?
Take them with a grain of salt.
Treat them as scenarios, possibilities, definitely not guarantees.
Okay, that's a helpful, balanced view. So for you, our listener who's maybe following the graph, trying to understand its progress beyond just the price chart, what are the really useful, tangible things to track?
Good question. I'd watch for concrete token API adoption. Which wallets, which explorers actually announce they're using it. That's real validation.
Okay.
Keep an eye on substreams adoption. Are developers launching new high-throughput subgraphs using it? Are major projects building data pipelines with it?
Makes sense. Real usage again?
Track the progress and, crucially, the community acceptance of GRC20. Is the standard getting traction? Are people building with it? Also, look for concrete CCIP bridge deployments actually going live, enabling those cross-chain GRT flows.
So functioning bridges, not just plans.
Right. And finally, just keep watching those core metrics. A quarter-over-quarter trends in query volume and active subgraphs, those signals tell you a lot more about genuine usage and network health than a price chart ever could.
Excellent. So to kind of wrap up this deep dive, the graph is clearly busy. Building, shipping, new APIs, faster indexing with substreams, working on knowledge standards like GRC20, planning cross-chain bridges with CCIP. It's all happening or rolling out.
Oh.
And taken together, these moves definitely seem to strengthen the toolkit for developers and boost its interoperability within Web3.
Yeah, what's really fascinating, I think, is that constant focused effort. They're building foundational infrastructure and doing it in a genuinely decentralized way. It strengthens the argument for the graph being critical Web3 plumbing.
Right.
But, as we said, it doesn't magically erase market risks or short-term price swings. That's just part of the environment.
Absolutely. Stepping back, the whole idea of creating a search engine for Web3, it's such a massive undertaking, isn't it? Really fundamental if this decentralized future is going to work.
It really is.
It makes you think, what does it truly mean for information to be public, verifiable, accessible at scale without central control? The challenges there are huge, but so are the opportunities for building the next generation of digital infrastructure. Something definitely worth pondering.